Welcome to Shubhra Ranjan.
Thank you so much.
Krishna Joshi, 73 rank in the first attempt. That's a great achievement.
Thank you so much.
Is your name justified to be called as an IAS officer?
Yeah, I think I could justify it to some extent so far. Like Lord Krishna stands for patience, for strategic thinking, crisis management. So far I've been learning all this. And I think the job that I've got now, I think if I work hard, I'll be able to justify this. So I'm hopeful that I justify.
That's a nice answer.
Yeah.
When did you start your preparation, first of all?
Okay, so if I go back in time, I realized that this vision came to me when I was in school. Like sixth, seventh class, I realized that like there was swine flu spreading in Jodhpur, I remember. And everybody was saying it, collector साहब manage कर रहे हैं, वो छुट्टियां कर रहे हैं. Everything was something, power center was the DM sub. So I realized that this is something great. So I started working on that. I started getting knowing about that. I asked my father as well. And then 10th class, when we have to choose the subject stream, na, that is the point I started looking through this exam and what's the pattern, what's the structure, and I decided this is the direction I'm taking. So after that, things fell into place that way, and I planned that way. Like I chose subjects like political science, economics in my class 10th and 11th, 12th as well. So they worked, and then I came to Delhi so that I can familiarize myself with the environment. I chose LSR in English honors, so that also worked in favor. And eventually, I was here preparing, coaching, and then yeah,
So finally it happened.
yeah, finally it happened.
So what is your association with Shubhra Ranjan?
Okay, so I was here for the classroom coaching, the entire the foundation batch, which we call. So I was here for PSIR foundation batch, and that went for around 8 months or so. And then I was here for the test series as well. Like the duration between prelims and mains, there is a 8 test series. So I did not attend all of the lectures of the test series because I was already a classroom student. But yes, I wrote the tests. Around 5 of them I wrote, and for remaining I read the model answers because time was a little less. So this is what I have been associated with.
How does PSIR as an optional help you for essay, ethics, and other papers, GS2 or GS1, because of the geography parts? So how does it help?
Yeah, so like we can say, like we ma'am teaches us that political science is the master science. Okay, so that's the key of the subject, that it helps. It will not only help us in optional, it helps us in essay, it helps us in ethics ka paper, GS2 as well, because scholars and like optional provides a very in-depth understanding of the concepts. So while we are explaining in GS, instead of being just on the surface, with this optional ka understanding, we can go in depth. So that adds an edge to our answers in GS2. And in ethics and this essay paper also, philosophers and their ideas, the quotes, they add amazing, they work like cherry on the cake. So that is how optional is like, it will add to your optional, and it also helps in interview. I'll say, because because it broadens our mindset to a lot extent. I believe that, and mostly questions do come in interview about optional. So if we have a clear understanding of the concepts like we build in our class with ma'am, then interview goes smooth. At least as far as optional is concerned.
How many marks did you score in interview?
Yeah, so I scored 195 in the interview. So that was it.
Was it on the last day or something? You said it was on the last day.
Yeah, it was on the last day, 9th April.
How did you cope up, or how did you keep the enthusiasm till the last date? Because all your fellow participants or the fellow competitors, they have finished much early and they are relaxing, and you had to keep up. How did you manage that?
Yeah, I think there was an inner fire that that day was going to be the day I've been waiting for since long. Like I said this in my actual interview as well, that the doors of this building open very rarely for very rare people. So I am glad that I reached this day. So I was very excited on that day that finally I'm at the place where I wanted to be. So that is that fire to be at that place to achieve the dream. That is what kept me going. Yeah.
So it does not matter whether it is on the first day or the last day.
Absolutely not. It you should just reach that day. That is what matters.
What was one thing that you remember from interview? What is the statement?
Okay. The first question itself was something very iconic. Like, despite having English medium as there, I was asked the moment I sat on the chair. Chairman sir asked that, Krishna ji, आपको नहीं लगता कि आप कुछ ज़्यादा जल्दी पहुंच गई हैं इस कुर्सी पे? So I was like, okay. मैंने कहा सर मैं खुश हूँ कि मैं पहुंच गई. So then he asked me that आप कैसे जल्दी पहुंच गई? लोग तो नहीं पहुंच पाते हैं. आपने ऐसा क्या स्पेशल किया? So then I said that there was a lot of planning and discipline and vision was already in place. I just implemented it in 2 years, and luckily I am here with my hard work and with God's grace.
So starting itself, you feel the
Yeah.
ball is in your court.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree to that.
So what do you have to say about the teaching methodology at Shubhra Ranjan by the faculty Shubhra Ranjan?
Yeah, so ma'am, I would say is exceptional about this subject. I know I'm from a non-political science background. Like I did have it in 11th class 11th and 12th, but optional is something which requires a lot of work. And what worked for me in favor was that ma'am taught concepts in such great clarity that I started enjoying the classes. This was, I think, the main point here, because I remember a time we were having our GS class as well, and two classes with ma'am in a day, so three classes. But still, I know that the 2:30 to 4:30 batch that I was here, I didn't feel any burden on myself. I was enjoying ma'am explaining in the class. And then going back and revising that. So it went very smooth. 80% of my work was done with ma'am's notes.
You don't have to read any other.
I did not have to read any other book in as such. What I did was just value addition with model answers, with current affairs, with some parts of GS, so examples and everything. Otherwise, ma'am, that foundational base which is required for writing the answers, for understanding the base of the subject, that was given by ma'am in a very, very clear manner. Like she also says it in her class, and I think that is true, that she does not leave even any scope of a doubt, that a doubt can emerge. And even if we have doubt, we have that facility that we can voice that. And ma'am addresses all of the doubts, I think, in the class.
Oh, she takes a.
Yeah, she takes doubts and she addresses all of them, no matter what kind of doubt we are asking, how much time it is taking. Her aim is to clear it. So that is what matters. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the philosophy part or the theories part?
Yeah.
That is one thing students find it difficult to digest.
Yeah.
Or they may not be enjoying it. They may be bored with the theories.
Yeah.
What about your learning process in that?
Yeah, like I enjoyed the philosophy part a lot, because it was new to me, and the way ma'am explains is just, I just love that in my classes. I loved it. And I did not miss, I think, any class of ma'am particularly. I did not miss any of my ma'am's classes. So that was the way she was teaching. So I enjoyed reading about philosophers, and I still remember them. And some of the keywords which are there, ma'am emphasizes on them a lot in the class. So they kind of settle into our brain at that very time. So when we're writing the answers or we're speaking about that subject, our words reflect that we are from that subject and we speak the language of that subject. And that is what ma'am also emphasizes, that you need to speak the language of the subject in order to be in the list, or in order to be writing good answers. And I think that works very well with the classes. Yeah.
There is one comment among the student communities that ma'am extends a lot.
Yeah.
So what is your take on this? Like you have been a classroom student here, and you have taken 8 months to finish.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that, about the extension sometimes which which is inevitable sometimes? What do you have to say about this? How did you manage when you were in the class?
Okay, yeah, so extensions do happen. Like in our case, also this happened that initially we were having one class every day, then we started having two. Then there were also an option to have three at the same time. So things were getting haphazard because of the extension. But what mattered was that I was enjoying my classes. And ma'am also said that have faith in me. So I trusted my teacher that she is going to make it and I will work hard with that. And now it definitely builds up pressure on the students when things get extended. So that pressure is there. But I think when we are aiming for such a big goal, we need to have that control in our hand about our preparation, how I have to manage. So what I did was, I remember the time having 3 classes in a day. So what I did was, I went back home at 5. I slept at 5. I woke up at 10:30, 11 in the night, and then from 11 to 6:30 in the morning, I was studying. So I thought that this is more comfortable for me. I attend my classes, I take rest, I give rest to my brain, and then I'm again back on work. So that was hectic, that was difficult. But I had that goal in my mind. So when goals are big, we have to make compromises.
This extra effort.
Yeah, we have to make an extra effort. We have to sacrifice things. So if we can do that, if we can plan things well, things are going to be difficult. And that is what happens when we are posted as an IAS or IFS officer as well. Things are unpredictable. They just happen in difficult ways. But we have to manage. So I think we have to be the captain of our ships. No matter what, if there are extensions, we can, like ma'am is there. Things are flexible. I remember that we also had some issue with some of the classes about Indian political thought. So we were given those classes online as well, recorded way.
Mhm.
So that is how things are managed. If we talk, things get managed. And ultimately, it is us who have to manage. So I think
So
trust
we
the
have to be
teacher.
smart.
Yeah, trust the teacher and be smart.
And you were giving the first attempt, like
Yes.
you were 22-year-old,
Yeah.
and you at that time you were giving the first attempt.
Yes.
So obviously you will have the zeal of finishing the syllabus, and you have
Yeah.
to give the first attempt.
Yeah.
And you have given the first attempt
Yeah.
while I know just while after finishing the coaching.
Yes.
So did you have any pressure of this excitement when the syllabus would finish and all?
Yeah. This pressure, this anxiety is always there because we have deadlines set in our minds that this is the time I have to complete my prelims. This is the time I have to complete my first division, second division. So things are planned that way. And suddenly, when we have to make changes, there is pressure. There is something. Things go haphazard. But I think that is the time we need to have patience and we need to manage. That is when, like, I remember that I realized by March or something that my optional is only revised once or twice. I need to like I'm not very good at my optional so far. So what I did was that I left it at that point, and I focused on my prelims. Once I got through prelims, like not just got through, once I was done with the paper of prelims, I did not take rest. On 28th May, I had prelims. 30th May, I was back on my table. That irrespective of whether I'm getting through or not, I'm preparing for my mains and I'm doing my optional. So that is when I started preparing. So in those 3 months, I give a little extra time to my optional because knowing that I haven't completed it before, and then things fell into place. I did not score very great. I got 260, but I think the amount of effort that I put in those 3 months, that is proportionate. Yeah.
So you have got 73.
Yeah.
Um, now you don't have to give the exam.
Yes.
Given an opportunity, would you write again?
No, I would not like to write again. I'm very grateful that UPSC gave me what I wanted in the very first attempt.
Yes.
So I would like to now work.
Mm.
Because I think exam was the means and my vision is the end. So I would like to implement my vision as an officer and work with much more hard work and zeal than what I had for the exam.
You have reached your goal at a
Yeah.
very young age and long way to go. And you will remain a role model for many out there, youngsters who want to start their preparation. So it was nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. It was great interacting with you. Thank you.